Hello Darts Nutz. I'm going to do a review of a set of the new Voks Oracle darts. These just came out quite recently, a couple of weeks ago, from Voks, and it's part of their new range of about, I think it's about 5 different new barrels that just came out recently. And as usual, it comes in this cardboard box, and on the back it tells you the weight, 23 gram. I have already opened these, but there's a little magnetic catch on the box which is nice and neat, keeps it all very neat. And these retail for $79. That's about £52 I think, and this particular set is 23 gram, and they're also available in 19 and 25 gram, and you can also get them in soft tip, and there's also some other variations available with different points. The fulcrum point, which I think is $99, and the ELC point, which is $89. Inside you get a little Voks pouch, little wallet for storing the darts, and you get some Voks flights, little point protector, and some what look to be short alloy stems. Now, if you haven't seen the pictures of these darts already, it's quite a very unique design. It's got these kind of square, I don't know what you could say, they look like kind of little bolts, like what you get with like nuts and bolts, little square nuts that you get. That's what they kind of look like, but very interesting feel on the barrel. Anyway, that's what you get in the box, so I'll show you a close-up of the darts now. Right then, here's the close look, then I'll put a detailed picture up with all the measurements on. It's fitted with looks quite a long silver point, and it's got a rounded bull nose, but immediately you can see the interesting part of the barrel is this strange grip. Never seen a dart with such a grip as this before, so it's very unique. As you can see, it's like kind of square nut shapes, but each square is offset by about 30 degrees. If you kind of get a shot, it might be hard to get on it here. Almost looks like a star shape when you look at it from that angle. I don't know, maybe you might be able to see from that, but they're slightly offset, like indented, so they're not protruding past like the edge of this front section, so gives a little bit of protection from incoming flight, but it does look very radical design, that very unique, but it doesn't feel as strange as it might look. It's kind of hard to explain. The grip is really it's something totally different. It's hard to describe the grip. It's like you've got like a kind of indented part, then 2 like spiky bits, depending how you grip it. So I'll be quite interested to see how it throws when I try it. But some parts it feels as if you've got like a hole in the barrel, kind of like a squarish hole, and in other parts it feels like it's kind of sticking up. It's really difficult to describe it. It's a very unique grip, but it doesn't feel as awkward as I thought it might have felt. But I'll have to see how it feels when I throw it. With me being a front gripper, I'm probably going to be gripping around that part, but even if I'm not gripping it right on that front section, this grip here, which is more like a standard ring kind of grip, but very grippy indeed, that's a very good grip as well. So overall I'd say it's a high level of grip for sure. And then all along the barrel it's quite an interesting design of grip. On the very rear section you've got these two kind of protruding knife edge style rings, so even them have got some grip. So depending on how you grip it, you might like to grip there and rest your finger around here, but I'm probably going to be gripping it there myself. But it is very unique design, so I take my hat off again to Voks for coming up with something very radical and different, and quite a daring design. So I'll just let you look at the barrel for a bit. And I just mentioned that you've got some alloy shafts. It's got a rubber O-ring fitted so it stays nice and tight, and your Voks standard holographic flags. So there's the darts. Alright, here's the detailed picture now. Here's the detailed look at the darts. It's got a silver point which is 31.8mm long. It's got a bull nose to the front of the barrel which is 6.3mm wide, and then you go into this interesting square nut style grip which is 8mm wide, and then there's another quite interesting ring grip which has got these like sloped edges to the rings. That's 15.1mm wide, and then you've got a knife edge style grip which is about 4.6mm wide. The rest of the barrel is mostly smooth except for the two very grippy protruding rings. That's 17.6mm wide. The overall length is 51.6mm and the width is 7.6mm. Right, then I'll just do some measurements along the barrel. Barrel length is 51.67, and it's kind of hard to find the widest part, so I'll just measure that front section. That says 7.6. See if I can get that spot on the middle. It says probably about 7.6 there, and I think it's going to be too awkward to try and measure these square bits. That's on the square bit there, that's 5.7. Let's see if I can measure across it at an angle. It's a bit awkward really, so could be around about 7.6, but I suspect it's probably a little bit less, and that looks as if it may be the widest part there. So probably about 7.6, 7.7 at the widest, and then it gradually tapers down. 7.2, getting thinner towards the end, 6.47, and then right near the end 6.1. Okay, let's compare the barrels, see how they match up. That's 23.08 grams. That is 23.09. And that is 23.08, so that's pretty amazingly matched considering how much machining is on the barrel, the weird machining. And the weight of the full setup as supplied is 24.88 grams. Right then, I'll just see if I can find the balance point. It's actually just about there. So it is with nothing attached. It's front weighted, and with the supplied setup it's probably not going to move too much. So just around about there, so it just moves slightly with these short stems, so it's still front weighted. Well, I didn't expect it to be, because it is quite a bit thicker down here, even though there's quite a lot of machining out there. The bulk of the barrel is wider here and thinner there, so it's a front weighted dart. So that's the detailed look at the Voks Oracle darts. Wasn't quite sure what to make of these when I first seen them, but having felt them in my fingers, they're not as weird as they actually look, and it feels very interesting, that grip, so just have to see how they fly now. So let's give them a throw and see how they go. I'm on the dart right on that kind of nut style grip, and it's not as weird to throw as it looks. I was expecting it to feel a lot stranger, but the only thing that I can really say that it feels slightly weird is the fact that when you hold it, it kind of, you get the impressions of the corners a little bit, and it kind of feels like you're holding something edgy but with holes in it. That's about as close as I can describe it, really. But certainly not as weird to throw as I was expecting. I was kind of expecting it to feel a bit awkward, but it just throws quite easy actually, and it didn't really stick in my fingers like I was expecting. It released quite easy, and even though it is quite grippy, that surprised me, that really. But as with most darts, it might take a while to get used to how they feel and that, so I'm obviously going to have a play about with them a bit more after I've done the review. But from first impressions, it was alright there. One thing I did notice, especially maybe to do with the shape of the barrel, is for a front grip it had a very nice arc through the air. Certainly flew nice that way. But I'll just carry on having a few more throws from there, and then I'll try somewhere else along the barrel. The thing with this barrel is it's got quite a few different varieties of grip. It's got this very strange cornered style nut shaped grip, and then it's got like kind of like a mixture of rings there, and then thin rings, and these pronounced rings on the rear, so there's plenty of options for different grip styles. Yeah, it probably take a few more goes to get used to it, because it does feel slightly strange, but certainly not as weird as I was expecting it. But it does have a nice arc to it, and I think it's just the shape of the barrel that's doing that. But certainly it's not as weird as you might have thought. It just I don't know, it's hard to describe the grip really, but it's one of them darts that you've got to really like try it, and you never know, you might particularly like that grip. I haven't quite made up my mind whether I like it or not. it does certainly feel different, but I'll have to play with it a bit longer. Obviously I can't play forever on the video review, but I'll have to play afterwards. But for now I'm just gonna try gripping on these, well, kind of like, they've got like a slope to these rings, so you've got some edginess to them as well, but I'd say that's probably just about central on the barrel, so we'll see what it's like to throw from there. Seems to throw a little flatter from that centre part. Actually, I think I preferred throwing them from the front. I know gripping it around the centre isn't my natural grip, but it just seemed like it was flying better from the front. One more go from the middle. No. It could suit a natural centre gripper, but don't know what it is about the middle, but doesn't feel quite right to me there. Probably gonna feel just as weird gripping it on the rear, but I'm gonna try gripping it on these two protruding rings on that section there. So just because I like to try the other grips, I know it's not my natural grip, but we'll see what happens. That was a bit better. Nope. The first one was a bit weird, but the next two wasn't too bad. Right, actually threw alright there. I'm not going to try too much gripping it from the rear, because it does feel very strange to me with me being a front gripper, but apart from that first one that I threw, the next were throwing alright there. And what I noticed there was, as I released the dart, it was doing that same kind of nice arc as it was when I was gripping it from the front, so it's quite a good dart in that respect, in that you've got all these different types of grip, so probably suit any kind of grip, but for me it was working well enough from the middle. I know I didn't get no trebles for working well enough from the front. I don't think I got any trebles from that front grip, like, but I think I just fluked that one with the rear grip. But anyway, I'm just going to go back to that grip now. Oh well, that's the Voks Oracle. It's a very interesting dart to throw. I think the thing I like most about this is, for a front grip, it has a very nice flight path. It just kind of like arcs nice and smooth. It's very nicely balanced for a front grip, but like I said before, it can probably work for any grip. I was surprised it worked as well as it did from that rear grip. It felt a bit weird for me holding it on that middle section, but probably be okay for a natural middle gripper. But this section at the front where I've been gripping it, it's certainly not as weird as I expected, but it does take a little bit of getting used to at first. But I think the more I play with it, the more I'm getting used to it, and the better I'm getting the dart to fly. So I'm going to practice a little bit more, and then I'll probably report on my review on the forum how I get on. But it is very interesting, and it's quite unique. So I haven't really made up my mind up yet whether I like it or not. There's certain bits about it that I like, and I'll just have to play with it a bit longer before I decide fully. But certainly a very interesting dart. It certainly looks different, and I quite like the style of the barrel. I like kind of crazy looking darts, and this is kind of a bit of a crazy looking thing, but flies a lot better than you might imagine it would. So that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching.